An Augustine processing plant to host community meeting as smell concerns spiral. St. Augustine composting facility, facing growing complaints about odor, is opening its doors to the community next month. Indianhead Biomass will host a public event called Compost. Classes in session on Wednesday, July 24th from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. This is p.m., this is at night, at the Solomon Calhoun Center. The goal to explain the facility's composting operations and give residents a chance to speak directly with company representatives and environmental experts. Indianhead, which began operations in 2018, processes yard debris and treated biosolids, recycled organic matter from sewage, into compost used in agricultural and landscaping. The company says it's helping reduce landfill waste and support sustainable soil practices. But the facility has drawn heavy criticism from residents of nearby neighborhoods, including Morgan's Cove, who say that they've been dealing with persistent and unpleasant odors, especially in certain weather conditions. Tensions rose further this month after residents filed a class action lawsuit against the company. Adding to the pressure, environmental advocate Aaron Brockovich has spoken out publicly, shining a national spotlight on the controversy. In response, Indianhead says its operations were established before many of the neighboring homes were built. The company hopes the open house event, with educational booths, a short presentation, and one-on-one conversations, will help answer questions and ease community concerns. This event is free and open to the public. Maybe put on a mask and go visit.
Yeah, this story stinks.
It does stink.
So.
I just have to say, so I attend and work at a church that is over 200 years old. Mm-hmm. And we had someone buy a house adjacent to our property during the 2020 year that we don't speak of. Mm-hmm. They came from up north, bought a house in what they thought, I guess, was a sleepy corner. Turns out it's not. Very busy St. George Street. And then proceeded to harass and complain and do everything they could to make life for a church miserable, because there's a parking lot at our church that gets used. And sometimes people are rowdy when they use our parking lot. It doesn't matter if you live
downtown. Just don't.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're there first. Is why someone's still going to complain.
Because of people like that's why Pete says stay home. Yeah. Just keep your butt back where you were at.
Yeah.
And
they moved.
And I love the fact that people come here because they love St. Augustine, and then they want to turn us into where they came from, which they hated.
Yes.
It's a
they evacuated from.
So they left this space because it was a horrible space.
Yeah.
And then they complain when they get here because we're not like where they were at.
Yeah.
Well, you hated that place at that time. Yeah. So guess who the problem was? It was you.
Maybe it was your attitude.
It was you.
Yeah.
All right. It's not us. It might not have been them, but it's definitely not us. We were fine without you.
Yes.
So.
And buying a house.
And I love visitors.
Yes. Buying a house in a downtown area during the time of social distancing and limiting travel, and assuming that level of foot traffic to stay the same without doing any sort of demographic checks. Maybe don't do that.
They probably bought it like doing a walkthrough on a Zoom call or something.
Probably. I'm sure they did.
A lot of people bought stuff at that time. And, because they didn't like.
They're gone now.
They didn't like their ruling. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah. So they didn't like their rulings of it. So
I don't think that I was here first was a very compelling argument for this biomass company. I mean, residents are going to buy properties when it's not incredibly humid and hot and stinky, and then be surprised when it's stinky.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's a surprising set of circumstances.
The neighborhood does have something a little bit against them too. I mean, and I know it's coming from this location, but just on the other side of the interstate is the dump. All right. And that dump's been there a long, long time.
So which one is causing the smell?
Well, I'm pretty sure that this is enhancing it.
Oh,
but if the wind's blowing in a different direction, it might not always be them.
Yes.
So, and I don't know enough about it, and I'm sure it's very uncomfortable, and I'm sure the realtor didn't reveal a lot of this, because they wanted to make that sale.
really fast, less breeze past, and you're close to the biomass facility for land debris recycling.
Just right there is where they're going to be burning stuff that's going to smell up your house for the rest of the entire time you own
without mentioning the treated biosolids.
But it's a great house. It's a great house.
But it was a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that pizza at a compost class is going to change people's attitudes about 24/7 odor. In their houses.
And I don't know if it's always there. And I think there's some burning days and some things like that it's worse. But, it's a tough one.
That's a hard one. Yeah. That's a buyer beware situation. Yeah. But that sucks.
It's a tough one. And I hope, that they're sincere in this conversation that they're having at the Solomon Calhoun Center.
I hope so.
So, I don't know what they can really do for the residents that are already there. They do need to stay in business.
Is there any sort of
there's some
filtration or anything?
Yeah, maybe there's a method that they can do differently, but
definitely maybe like another movie about Erin Brockovich if she's involved.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
I think it's mostly the homeowners. If they saw the plant, they should, they could kind of use their context clues on that one.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes where you're buying the house, you don't know that plant's there. And the realtor has to, it is the realtor's responsibility to say disclose this, especially after all this news.
Yeah.
It's the realtor's responsibility if you're selling them a house to say, hey, this is right there. It's like knowing there's a train track on the other side of the trees and you don't tell them about it. Mm-hmm. That's really not allowed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it sucks. You think you bought your dream house, you bought it in a time of year where there weren't obvious sensory context clues that this plant is there. Mm-hmm. And then you find out once you're settled in and you're kind of stuck and your property values maybe aren't that great as a result. That sucks, man. I have empathy for these homeowners. I don't know what kind of solution can be come to, but I hope they are able to get somewhere with this.
Well, and for future buyers and from the real estate, do your own due diligence too. Don't just rely on the realtor. Do your own due diligence. Get on Google Earth and do a top down and see what's around you. And if something doesn't look right, ask the question and do your own due diligence. This is the biggest investment most people make is their house.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I feel terrible for these people that are kind of locked in there, and some people are having some negative reactions physically against this. It's not a good situation.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sound not sympathetic, but there's for the next group coming around, there's ways to avoid it.
Yes. This stinks all around.
Yeah. The show stinks. Or this, not the show.
Not
stinks.
The show. The show's great.
Not the show. The story stinks.
The reality for these people stinks.
Yeah.
It also stinks for the people that are just trying to compost and just trying to, they've got a mission. We all want, better fertilizers. We all want more sustainability. When and where it's feasible, we all want this. So, it stinks all around for everyone.
Yep.
Sorry. St. Augustine High School to host active